Welcome in, listener. You're listening to a segment from the Slump Buster podcast with Juju and Dre. Find the full episode on Spotify, iTunes, the Google Play Store, or our YouTube channel. Enjoy.
We get to talk about Kyrie Irving next and his amazing Instagram post that did not have any grammatical errors and it was well worded. And Kyrie Irving, honestly, he's a poet and I see him so much more than a basketball player. In fact, I care for this man as a person on a deep emotional level. Yeah, actually, I didn't even believe myself when I said that. No, I'm a bitter Celtics fan. I'm just going to start this conversation by saying that from the get-go. And when I had a guy that was legitimately saying, yeah, I'll be back for you guys if you'll take me. Well, we would have took you, Kyrie. We took you with open arms, in fact. Danny Ainge, the rest of the organization embraced you. And now that you're on your third team, and you're causing problems there, and they're talking about your mood swings constantly, and Marcus Smart is talking about your mood swings, I think it's clear at this point, you're the problem, bro. So let's get into it, because I have to read this long, tired rant that he put out there on Instagram. So let's go through this. It happens all the time, and tonight just shows how sports/entertainment will always be ignorant and obtrusive. It's one big show that means very, very little in the real world. It's most people live in because there are actual things that matter going on within it, like figuring out a life that means more to you than a damn ball going into a hoop, or learning how to grow up being in a fishbowl of a society based on your popularity level as a person, or even dealing with becoming the leader of your family after someone's passing and not knowing how to deal with life after it happens. But, and that's but with 4 T's, guys. This game of sports entertainment matters more than someone's mental health and well-being, right? Or the life things that happen to people every day, but still have to perform for the NBA and its fans, right? It's all about doing it for the fans and organization that love you so much. Think again, it's a game. It's promoted as fandom experience for ticket buyers and viewers at home, while defacing who people truly are as people, then spat out all over these media networks as valuable food for thought. Will they actually believe that their opinions hold weight to real cultural leaders that speak and act for change? One big gimmick with some smoke and mirrors. I'll always be the one that takes the stand and speaks for the truth every time, though. A purposeful and spiritual-led life will always be bigger and more meaningful than any game, arena, or entertainment space. This game isn't meant to be controlled and shown as a drama. It's meant to show the love. Love for the art is the only damn thing that keeps the purest people in this giant sports entertainment circus. Don't fall for the game that's played in front of you. As entertainment, never be as serious as dealing with life. God bless, that was a journey to make it through.
That was a novel, Juju. Great job.
God bless. Yeah. So trying to dissect this, let me start by saying this. I care for Kyrie as a person. In the sense that I don't want anything bad to happen to this guy. I want him to succeed as a person, be healthy, happy in life. I truly do wish that for him. But the reason I care about Kyrie Irving is because he's a famous NBA player, that he's one of the best in his respective field. That's the reason, I tune in to watch him, whether when he was a Celtics to love him, or now that he's with the Brooklyn Nets to hate him. There is a certain entertainment value to this. And if this meant nothing to Kyrie, if all the money, all the accolades meant nothing to him, he would play for free. He wouldn't have a Dr. Drew movie. It just seems like biting the hand that feeds you when I read this whole entire statement.
Yeah, and I don't think it's 100% accurate. If Kyrie Irving happened to have a major injury, there'd be tons of fans hoping that he would get better, right? Or if there were a family incident where Kyrie is like, hey, I've got to go away for a month, right, to deal with this family incident. I think there's a lot of fans and, coaches, everybody around the league would 100% be supportive of, hey, he's going through this really difficult time. But you're exactly right in the fact that at the end of the day, he signed up for a job and his job is to play basketball. And most fans are there to watch him play basketball and they want to see him constantly perform, to the best of his ability and watch him basically put that ball in that hoop or make a good pass or play, good defense. And that's what the fans want out of him. And so I don't think that the fans only care about that. I think they really do care about him as a person. And like I said, if there were a major incident, I think most fans would be sympathetic towards him and whatever incident that he's going through. But you're getting paid millions of dollars. The reason you're so popular is because you're good at a game or a sport, right? So Kyrie, I think he's just a little bit off his rocker, to be honest. I think he's a little bit crazy.
I think this is kind of like the disconnect that fans have with NBA players, because when players make these kind of statements, it just comes off so tone deaf.
Mhm.
Like players have lost touch with what it's like to be a real person.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, they play 3 times a week for millions of dollars, where there's millions of Americans that just like go into work a traditional 9 to 5 every single day. These guys don't even play back-to-back games.
Mm-hmm.
You're working back to back to back to back for a 5-day work week each and every week. And then you hear this guy who's making millions of dollars to play this game that he apparently just despises so much. It just why people have a tough time relating to these star NBA players, and why I feel like a sport like the NFL is so much more popular with fans, because it just has that more blue collar appeal that I feel like a lot of these NBA players just don't really have anymore.
Yeah. And I mean, going back to, we've talked a little bit about, should college players be paid? Well, a lot of, what the pro players are saying, yeah, you should pay these college players, is because they're like, well, the media's, using their rights as a person, right, to make money off them. Well, college, like, that's where, if your mindset really is this, like a Kyrie Irving, that's where you 100% get to play the game, and you get to play it for free, and you get to basically just show your skills as being one of the best in college. Yet players still push back against that, and they're like, well, we need to get paid. We're going to be in the limelight, media, and all that stuff. And so you're exactly right, is when Kyrie Irving is saying things like this, it comes off as being tone deaf. It comes off as, do you really know what the reality sort of is?
And the thing is, there's a reason why we watch the NBA and we don't watch the Croatian Basketball League.
Mhm.
It's because the entertainment value. We find the day-to-day action entertaining, and that's why we tune in. There is drama, for good or for bad. When you watch like NBA Finals, the drama in like a Game 7 is part of the show. It's part of the theater of the game, and every theater needs its actors. Kyrie Irving, you're basically an actor in this situation. And I don't know whether he's trying to play up the villain aspect or the hero aspect of it. Maybe he's the hero to some, but it just seems when he puts out statements like this, he's trying to definitely establish himself as the starring villain, the antagonist in this story.
So do you think that Kyrie will be happy anywhere in the league, right? He wasn't happy when he was with LeBron James. He wasn't happy with the Celtics. Now he's off in Brooklyn, but it seems, at least this post to me, seems that he's unhappy again. Like, I don't know what you can do to please this dude as, as an organization, as a team, as a fan base.
Yeah, and like, what did you expect, Kyrie, like when you walked into Boston? Like, really? Because this all is just one response to how the fans reacted when he wasn't there playing his return game to the TD Gardens, which many will say felt like him ducking the Celtics, him trying to avoid the TD Garden crowd knowing what they were going to say. You had to expect that reaction. You burned that bridge there. And yeah, if this is your third stop in the NBA and you're still not happy, maybe it just isn't the job for you, And it's crazy to say that, because clearly he is one of the best basketball players in the league, arguably one of the best players of all time if he was to play an entire career without any further injuries, right?
He's one of the better point guards in the league right now, as far as like an offensive production standpoint. Now, you can always argue about, like, does he play that ISO ball too much, right? Does a true point guard get more assists than Kyrie would? Does he play defense? But at the end of the day, he is one of the best players in the league. There's a reason why he's an all-star. And there's a reason why LeBron James wanted him on his team, right? And wanted to be on a team with Kyrie.
There's a reason he has movies. You have a movie, dude. If you want this type of life, if you want the life you're living, then quit degrading the fans, because the fans are what make the NBA work. In fact, I think, again, this is just like more problems with the NBA, like respecting the audience that watches it. You tell all these people that the regular season doesn't matter, and then your players are saying like, oh yeah, don't celebrate me for the game, don't cheer, don't boo. It's like, that's part of why we go. And unless you just want to play in empty stadiums every single game, then you just got to just accept this is part of the life. This is what you get paid top dollar for. Yeah. Otherwise, that dollar is just going to keep sinking, because let's face it, if fans don't want to go to the games, that salary cap is going to keep dropping. We talked about it with the China situation. We talked about it with just in general the rating situation, because as these contracts go, and as like TV networks say, man, the NBA is just not really getting the ratings anymore, that's going to affect your bottom line there. And then you're not playing for the fame or the money. You're just playing, and if that's what you want, great. But I don't think that's what you want based off what you're telling me.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is Kyrie was also forcing his way into a big market, right? Like a New York, which you sort of just have to be tough skin. If you're going to force your way out of 2 franchises to go play in a bigger market, of course the media spotlight's going to be on you. And of course those other fan bases are going to hate you. And just in general, anywhere you play, they're going to heckle you a little bit. Now, I do think that it is wrong for fan bases like the Utah Jazz, for instance, where they're like saying racist things to players.
Okay, yeah, but that's a whole separate issue. You can just degrade like racism like that on just any level. It has no place anywhere, certainly not an NBA stadium. But I mean, this is just honest to goodness booing, booing has been around since sports have been around. I'm sure there's people that were booing gladiators in the arena, and these guys were getting chased around by lions.
I 100%.
Boo! Maximus! Boo! We are not entertained. Boo!
There's not enough blood. We want more blood. Yeah. No, you're exactly right. And that was my point, right? Is like some of those fans that are racist, like that 100% has no place in any sport, right? Or entertainment, any workplace. I 100% get that. But you're exactly right. When it comes to booing, like you forced your way out of 2 franchises. You went to one of the biggest markets in the world, and you expect for everybody just to go about their business and treat you like a normal human being.
Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, considering it was Boston, I'm surprised the Celtics fans weren't worse. They were just saying, where's Kyrie? Because he didn't show up.
Yeah, he literally did not show up because he's been injured. So it's not like...
And it makes me look back at like a couple years ago when the Celtics were making that deep run into the Eastern Conference playoffs, and he no-showed for Game 7 to go get his nose surgery. Like, you couldn't have delayed that a day. No, you decided to just miss the game entirely, where you have your teammates on the court battling to make it to a NBA Finals. I look back at that situation, I'm like, yeah, I guess that's just Kyrie's personality. If he doesn't like a situation, he'll just no-show. He'll dip. He won't show up for work that day.
Yeah, I mean, and like in that situation, that's what a mask is for. That's why they make the face mask. And does it suck to play with? I'm 100% sure that it does.
He didn't even have to play with it. He actually didn't even need the face mask. This was just to watch his teammates play in a game on the bench in street clothes. But he didn't do that. He needed to have that no surgery that day, that Game 7 against the Cavs, against LeBron. What a leader, right?
Yeah, and that just tells you, like, the type of person that he is. He's sort of out of touch with reality, and I think he doesn't relate well to people. This, to me, though, I would be concerned with now you got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on the same team. They're both really thin-skinned, and Kyrie's already posting things like this. Like, you know that KD has issues with Twitter. Now Kyrie has issues with Twitter and the media and fans booing them. They're going to be the most hated, like, franchise in the world, come KD getting healthy.
What are the odds that Kyrie has burners?
98%. Just as high as Deontay Wilder's knockout percentage.
God, you're right, though. I'm curious what the Kevin Durant's thought process is here, because he's just waiting on the sidelines while all this is taking place. I know when they're actually on the court, they'll be good. I have no doubt about that. Here's another question as far as what are the odds? What are the odds that Kyrie legitimately finishes his contract in Brooklyn?
Oh, man. That is a lot harder. I'm going to give it a sort of a cop-out, and I'll say it's 50-50 right now.
We'll give it to the end of the season, and I'll re-ask that question.